Snoop Dogg is a rat?
What you mean by that?
Look at this camera. Because Snoop Dogg got an order of protection on Suge Knight.
What you mean he got an order of protection?
He got an order of protection on Suge Knight in the 90s.
Well, Snoop would never go. You know, we beat a murder trial for him, but then he was on probation. Then he got caught with guns. And each time it's nothing. They're not going to violate him. That's because he's an informant. He's a rat, a snitch.
According to recent reports, they have identified and arrested the person responsible for Tupac's untimely death, Keith D. But it doesn't stop there. Embrace yourself, as it seems that Snoop Dogg may also be under more scrutiny due to reports that Suge Knight's case has been revived, and there are also reported links to Tupac's shooting. Be sure to stick around till the end for the full details. In the most recent episode of his podcast, the former music mogul steps into the limelight to offer his unvarnished viewpoint. The producer, Suge Knight, who is incarcerated, made a shocking charge against Snoop Dogg. The information shared in this open discussion could significantly change the course of Snoop's life, as Knight implies that law enforcement failed to consider an important piece of evidence. Knight claims that if this had been done, Snoop might have received a 20-year sentence. Knight further stated that he personally saved Snoop Dogg from the threat of a life in prison.
For me to make sure this guy, and put my own freedom at stake, to make sure this guy don't be in prison, to go back and partner up with Michael Harris, who committed fraud against me, and the line said they're going to try to take death row, and instead, which is not true, but even if it was, you supposed to try to get it back to the rightful owner. You didn't represent death row when you was on death row.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notification bell. This way you'll never miss out on any future celebrity videos similar to these. It's still pretty insane how Suge Knight has managed to get a podcast from prison where he can discuss these topics. As recently, he was even able to get Cat Williams on his show, which is insane. But let's not deny what Suge said about Snoop. He is claiming, without him, he would have faced decades in jail, which is a hefty claim to make. Knight further asserted that he had spent $6 million to tie up loose ends. In order to blackmail the rapper, this required paying off a member of Snoop's crew who even met with a private investigator and gave him the full truth, the motherfucking truth, on camera. However, Knight claims that after intervening, the person destroyed the purported tape. Throughout their time together in the era with Tupac, both Snoop Dogg and Suge Knight didn't exactly have the best of relationships, and Suge Knight even labeled Snoop Dogg as a rat while in prison.
Get caught with a gun, stab somebody, do those type of crimes, they're not gonna come to prison. One of the reasons they're not gonna come to prison. Well, Snoop would never come. I mean, Snoop was on, you know, we beat a murder trial for him, but then he was on probation. Then he got caught with 2 ounces of marijuana. Then he got caught with guns. And each time it's nothing. They're not going to violate him. Because for the street guys know what I'm talking about. There's no puzzle. I mean, if you get a guy that constantly getting in trouble and never going to come to prison, that's because he's an informant. He's a rat, a snitch.
For those of you that may be unaware of the Snoop Dogg M-related charge, Snoop Dogg and his former bodyguard Malik were charged in 1993 with first and second degree murder in Los Angeles for the death of Philip Waldemariam, with details of their legal strategy to follow. Knight remembered a pivotal instance. The lawyer said, well, the bodyguard has a 9mm, so we can't say he protected Snoop and shot the guy. Snoop had a 380. I said we'll be effed if the bodyguard had a 380 and Snoop had a 9mm. And he got shot with a 380, right? He got shot with a 9mm. But since Snoop had the 380 and the bodyguard had a 9mm and he got shot with a 380, all the bodyguard got to say is he was using 380 bullets in his 9mm. And for a while now, fans have had their theories about Snoop Dogg being a massive snitch for years, even before Suge Knight came out and stated it himself, with various posts like, I heard by many people that Snoop was an informant. Snoop has been snitching for 30 plus years already. Never trusted Snoop. He plays all sides. He's too friendly with Pac's enemy, Brother Love. He seemed jealous of Tupac, can't stand triangulation. Like we briefly mentioned at the start of the video, fans are also convinced Snoop Dogg was involved in Tupac's passing one way or another for a multitude of reasons. But the main one being when he appears on podcasts, his events of Tupac's passing always seem to change. We'll check this out shortly. In 2016, Snoop Dogg gave The Breakfast Club an interview in which he finally revealed some details about how the lengthy battle came to a conclusion. Snoop Dogg discussed ending his years-long rivalry with Suge Knight. With a frustrated look on his face, he answered the question of how things were going with Knight by saying, "We real cool. We had a long 3-4 hour conversation one time when I seen him. I was kind of slipping, doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing, and he slid up behind me, and instead of me reacting the wrong way, I just went into my regular mode. And I'm going to lay up Boo to the side, and me and you can go upstairs and meet. And we got caught up on some real love. Additionally, Snoop Dogg said that Tupac appeared to receive special treatment from Suge Knight, probably because he was the label's cash cow, which Snoop thought was kind of strange. He added that things between him and Tupac would have been easier if someone else had been the CEO of Death Row Records at the time. Before we go any further into the video, what are your guys' thoughts on this entire situation? Does Suge Knight's recent points hold weight in terms of saving Snoop Dogg from a hefty sentence and him being a snitch? Or is it all just speculation? Comment down below. Like we've mentioned in a previous video regarding the Snoop Dogg and Tupac saga, which we'll check out now. Recently, film director Alan Hughes had publicly came out and stated that Snoop Dogg set aside his career to allow Tupac to have his moment, which is a bit of a cop-out, as regardless if Snoop still prioritized himself, Tupac would have flourished regardless due to his pure art and personality. There will never be another Tupac. So saying Snoop Dogg showed his humility by taking a step back is complete BS. Suge Knight also recently claimed that Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre were extremely envious of Tupac in the height of his career. And Napoleon was on The Art of Dialogue a few days ago and spoke about the entire situation.
And he taking away your shine, I can see so. You know what I mean? Like, I can definitely see how a person could probably, because the music industry is very competitive anyway. You know what I mean? Nobody wants you to sell more records. Nobody want another rapper to sell more records than him, even on their label mates. It's just a competitive industry. So Pac come and he just take over, then, you know, and Suge, you know, he probably know the personalities of the people. I'm not surprised though.
And if you know Napoleon, he always keeps it real and honest in his interviews. So it seemed more of an ego thing more than anything, as all rappers have one, and when Tupac came in and just entirely took over, you can see why they would feel envious of the guy, but now try and play out like they were the best of friends. All rather dodgy stuff. Although in various other interviews, it's been claimed Snoop Dogg didn't even visit Tupac in hospital.
How do you feel about Snoop Dogg claiming that he came to visit Tupac while he was in the hospital?
You know, at this point, it's not like a thing that I would argue because that's something that he has to live with. A lot of people showed up, but I can't say that it was a lot of death row people or death row artists that was there. And then, you know, anybody could argue the fact, well, I wasn't there 24 hours a day. But, you know, Snoop Dogg showing up at a hospital where Tupac is lying sick, you know, where the picture's at.
Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to Loaf 2 for future celebrity videos and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.